If the island of Key West was a bar, it would be called the Ends of the Earth Bar, and rightly so. There is only one road leading into Key West, and it is 113 miles from the mainland of Florida to the city limits. It's a 4-hour drive from Miami, 3.5 hours by ferry from Fort Myers, and just 50 minutes to fly in from Miami. No matter how you get here, you will soon see it is unlike any place else within the continental USA. It never freezes here, nor does it really ever get cold. Even in January, the average temperature is 69 degrees and usually in the mid-70s. This makes this a year-round destination. However, the summer is the most active time period with lots to do. We will show you some of the most popular activities available to visitors. The most popular things to do all revolve around water. For divers, the Great Florida Reef is the only living coral barrier reef in the continental United States. It extends from Key Largo to the Dry Tortugas, a length of 170 miles. There are several sunken ships to dive on as well. Fishing is a huge draw to Key West. You can charter a boat to take you where the fish are plentiful. You can stay within a short distance from the island, or you can head out to the deep waters where the big fish live. Playing in the water is available for all ages. There are both private and public beaches scattered around the island. The largest beach open to the public is Smathers Beach. It is over half a mile in length and is on the south side of the island, right next to Roosevelt Boulevard, the perimeter road around the island. Higgs Beach is a little further down the road on Atlantic Boulevard. This beach surrounds the Key West Garden Club, one of the island's last remaining free tourist attractions. For those of you who prefer to stay land-based, there is still plenty to do. While there are plenty of places to stay on the island, you are required to visit Duval Street, a narrow, mile-long main drag. The famous, as well as those of us who are not so famous, have walked this street and spent time in the bars and eateries that line the street. Start at the south end, where you can dip a toe into the Straits of Florida, which is part of the Atlantic Ocean, and then walk a little over a mile north and you can dip a toe in the Gulf of Mexico. Arrive at the Gulf side near dusk and you can wander over to Mallory Square, where watching the sunset has become a nightly ritual. More on Mallory Square later. While you are in this part of town, catch a ride on the conch train. They will show you all kinds of interesting locations on the island, including Hemingway's house, the Audubon House and Gardens, the Key West Lighthouse Museum, Harry S. Truman's Little White House, the Key West Aquarium, and the Key West Shipwreck Treasure Museum. You can always come back to these places on your own at a later time, now that you know where they're located. Key West is a great destination to visit and truly has something for everyone. The locals are friendly and laid back. And visiting here is almost like visiting another country, but you are still in U.S. soil. It will take several days to do everything, but no matter what you do or where you go, the evenings belong to Mallory Square. While the sun setting into the ocean is a draw all of its own, the spectacle of the square stands alone in its uniqueness. The crowd is festive and there are multiple performers scattered around the square. Whether it is balloon art, juggling acts, music, or sword swallowing, you can find this and much more here at Mallory Square. The worst of Key West. While our little key at the end of a 100-mile strip of keys is a wonderful place to visit, there are some things that can blur the picture of the perfect getaway. The weather can be a deciding factor on the time of year you want to visit. Hurricane season can have its challenges. The season officially runs from June 1st to the end of November, but the peak time for storms generally occur in September. You don't really want to be caught in Key West during a hurricane, since there's nowhere to go except up Highway 1, directly toward the storms. And since everyone is trying to get out at the same time, there's a lot of congestion as well. If you visit here between August and October, keep an eye on the weather forecasts. While not quite weather-related, watch out for the sun. It can be brutal to white-skinned northerners. Make sure you use sunblock and stay hydrated. The prevailing trade winds from the Gulf Stream make it seem cooler than it is, and it doesn't take long for the sun to cause severe sunburns, which in turn will put a huge damper on your vacation. Vacationers like to spend a lot of time in the water, a great place to be. But there are a few sea creatures you want to keep an eye out for since they can cause some pain, like the Portuguese man-o-war jellyfish. They are commonly found near the shore in the seagrasses, and they also get washed up onto the beaches as well. The sting from touching their tentacles can be extremely painful, and in the worst circumstances can interfere with heart and lung function. Pain from a sting that lasts over an hour should be checked out by a doctor. Barracudas swim along the shore and near the piers and are generally harmless, but accidentally stepping on one could cause them to bite, and they have a mouthful of sharp teeth. The Conch Republic of Key West attracts tourists who embrace alternate lifestyles, and always has. This helps generate a vibrancy and flavor not readily found elsewhere. However, keep in mind that the bars along Duval Street stay open most of the night with loud music as diverse as the partygoers. Crime rates are always a consideration, but there is very little major violent crimes committed here. The majority of crimes are due to burglaries and theft. Make sure your wallet and phone are well secured on your person when in densely packed areas such as Mallory Square at sunset. And don't leave valuables laying around on the beach either. One other thing, don't try to pet the wild chickens roaming around the streets. They can peck. Key West is a great spot, and taking some simple precautions will ensure that your stay is painless and trouble-free.